Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Hey there, and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. Great to be here. It is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025.
And we're here, as always, trying to cut through some of the noise, sift through the data.
Yeah, and really deliver the insights from, tech and finance that actually matter to you.
Exactly. So before we dive into the tech stuff, let's get a quick look at the bigger picture. Here in Sacramento, well, it's another sunny one, high of 95 degrees airy today.
Pretty standard for August here. Nationally, it looks like some heavy rain down in the southern Appalachians and the central Gulf Coast.
And that heat just won't quit out west and up in New England either.
Oh, right. And we need to keep an eye on tropical storm Aaron. They're saying it could become a major hurricane this weekend out in the Atlantic.
Yeah, definitely something for the East Coast to monitor closely.
Okay, shifting to the markets. Pretty upbeat day today, actually.
Yeah. How do we do?
The Dow Jones closed strong. 44,405.46. That's up over 354 points just today.
Nice. And the week.
Looking good there, too. Up more than 680 points since last Monday, August 4th.
Okay. S&P 500 keeping pace.
Yep. Closed at 6,410.65. That's up about 15.5 points today.
And it had a good week, too, right?
A really good week. Up almost 139 points since the 4th. That's over 2.2%.
Wow. All right. And Bitcoin. What was I check Bitcoin?
Still climbing. Closed at 119,111.09. So up just under 0.5% today.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up like 4.35% since August 5th. So yeah, positive signs across the board, really.
Good. Wish I could say the same for, my San Francisco Giants.
No, boy. What happened yesterday?
Another loss. Yeah, lost 1-4 to the Padres in the 11th.
Ouch. Padres again?
Yeah. Yu Darvish was just on fire for them.
Yeah.
And their guy, Jackson Merrill, went 3 for 4. Just couldn't get anything going.
Tough break. Always next game, though, right?
That's what I keep telling myself. Okay, enough sports woes.
Right. Let's talk tech. The real shifts are happening there anyway. We've got 3 big stories from Snarful's Morning Star. That's our internal Snarful Tech article report.
Yeah. And these aren't just, headlines. These are things really shaping business, maybe your investments, even just how you use tech day to day.
Exactly. So let's get right into the first one. It's causing quite a stir.
Yeah. This one involves former President Trump, Nvidia, and a pretty controversial chip deal with China.
Okay, so what happened is President Trump announced this specific arrangement. Nvidia and AMD too, they get to sell certain AI chips to China.
We're talking the H20 from Nvidia and the MI308 from AMD, right? These are the sort of stripped down ones.
Exactly. The ones designed to comply with existing export controls, although Trump apparently called them obsolete.
Yeah. So they get the export licenses.
Yeah.
But what's the catch?
The catch is they have to pay the U.S. government 15% of the revenue from those sales.
15%. Just straight off the top.
Apparently. The reports say Trump initially wanted 20%.
Wow.
And Jensen Huang, Nvidia CEO, actually went to the White House, showed diagrams, and argued it down to 15.
That negotiation must have been intense. It feels less like policymaking and more like, a business deal.
Well, and that's precisely the controversy, right? This is a huge shift, a reversal, really, from the national security first approach we saw under Trump's first term and under Biden, too.
Yeah, for years, it was all about restricting China's access, even if it hurt U.S. companies' sales there.
Exactly. Now it seems like there's a willingness to let them sell, but only if they, pay up. It's like a direct pay-to-play fee.
But is that even legal? I mean, aren't tariffs and fees supposed to go through Congress or, formal regulatory stuff?
That's the massive question mark. Generally, yes. Doing it via an ad hoc White House meeting that raises serious flags. You've got groups like the Government Accountability Office, the Office of Government Ethics, kind of scratching their heads.
Because you're basically singling out specific companies for a special fee just to access a market. It sets a really weird precedent.
Definitely unusual. But from an investor angle, they seem to like it.
Well, yeah. I guess 85% of something is better than 100% of nothing, right? If the alternative was a total ban.
That seems to be the thinking. It gives Nvidia and AMD access to that huge Chinese market again. It lets them compete with companies like Huawei, who've actually been gaining ground because of the U.S. restrictions.
So how's China taking it? They need the chips, but paying a fee to the U.S. can't sit well.
It seems mixed. On one hand, yes, they need these for their AI ambitions. On the other, there's probably resentment about this fee. Plus, those old security concerns about alleged backdoors keep popping up, though Nvidia flatly denies them.
So connecting the dots here, is this the new normal? Are we going to see these kinds of digital tariffs for other strategic tech?
It's the big question. Analysts think it's maybe less likely for things like software because semiconductors are just so uniquely critical, so strategic.
But the precedent is set. What if, next time, for the more advanced chips, Trump asks for 30% or 50%?
It definitely opens that door. It's a whole new phase of tech diplomacy or maybe tech transactionalism.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, so from these high-stakes global deals, let's zoom right down to the desktop level, because that same tech, AI tech, is getting way more accessible.
Yeah, this next story is also about NVIDIA, but it's about bringing that power, that Blackwell GPU power, directly to professionals, but maybe in smaller offices or studios.
Okay, so what did they announce?
At SIGGRAPH, they rolled out an expansion of their professional Blackwell GPU lineup. The key things are 2 new GPUs for compact workstations, the RTX PRO 4000 SFF and the RTX PRO 2000.
SFF meaning small form factor.
Exactly. And the big deal is they're both just 70-watt cards, super energy efficient.
So you don't need some crazy power supply or special wiring.
Precisely. No auxiliary power connectors needed. You can basically slot these into existing, maybe smaller professional desktop PCs without a major overhaul.
Okay, that is a big deal for smaller firms or departments.
And they didn't forget the bigger setups either. There's also new RTX PRO 6000 server edition for enterprise data centers. All this should be available later this year, 2025.
So this is really about democratizing access to serious AI power.
That's a great way to put it. It brings high-end AI and graphics right to your desk without needing massive infrastructure changes. Think design studios, engineering firms, even medical offices.
And for the IT folks, the CIOs, this makes on-premise AI much more feasible, right?
Absolutely. Less reliance on the cloud, which can mean lower costs, definitely lower latency.
And better data privacy. That's huge.
Crucial. If you're working with sensitive medical images or proprietary engineering models or financial data, keeping it local is often a requirement, or at least highly preferred. These GPUs make that possible with real power.
Okay, but what about the actual performance? Are these stripped-down cards still powerful?
Oh yeah, the gains are significant. The RTX PRO 4000 SFF, they're saying up to 2.5 times the AI performance and 1.7 times the ray tracing speed of its predecessor, plus 20 gigs of memory.
And the 2000.
The RTX PRO 2000 Blackwell, the smaller one, still gives you 1.6x faster 3D modeling, 1.4x faster CAD, 1.6x faster rendering, and it's got 16 gigs of the newer, faster GDDR7 memory.
So real, tangible speed-ups for professionals.
And we're already seeing examples. Thornton Tomasetti, the engineering firm, their structural analysis is running almost 3x faster.
That's huge for productivity.
Or the government of Cantabria, fine-tuning AI models twice as fast. Mile High Flood District, using them to handle massive simulation data sets. It enables new workflows.
So it really pushes AI from being just this big cloud thing to something you can have right there on your machine doing complex work.
Exactly. It supports things like generative urban design, smart devices like baby strollers getting smarter with real-time processing, robotics. It brings the power to the edge.
So NVIDIA is basically putting a slice of that supercomputing power right onto our desks, tailored for specific jobs. That's a big shift toward more distributed AI.
It really is. It could unleash a lot of innovation at that local level.
Okay, fascinating. We'll shift gears one more time for our third story, moving into digital finance and stablecoins with Circle.
Right, Circle. They issue USDC, probably the biggest US-based stablecoin. They just dropped their Q2 2025 financial results.
And how did they look? Stablecoins have been huge.
The top line looks fantastic. Revenue was $658 million. That's up 53% year over year.
53%.
Wow, and the amount of USDC out there just exploded, up 90% year over year. It was $61.3 billion at the end of Q2. And it's apparently up to $65.2 billion already by August 10th. And get this. $5.9 trillion in on-chain transaction volume using USDC.
Trillion. Just mind-boggling scale. Okay, so revenue's up, usage is way up, must be profitable.
Yeah, well, here's the twist. They reported a net loss of $482 million for the quarter.
Whoa, wait, how does that happen with revenue soaring?
It's mostly an accounting thing tied to their IPO earlier this year. It's not an operational loss.
Okay, explain that.
So the vast majority of that loss, like $424 million, was non-cash stock-based compensation. Another $167 million was from revaluing some convertible debt. These are typical, often one-time hits when a company goes public.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not money they actually spent operationally in the quarter.
Exactly. If you look at their adjusted EBITDA, which strips out those kinds of things and shows core operational strength, that was actually up 52% to $126 million.
Right. So operationally, they're doing really well. It's just the IPO accounting makes the bottom line look messy for now.
Precisely. It's not a red flag about the business itself.
Okay, that makes sense. And besides the financials, what else is new with Circle?
Something pretty big, actually. They unveiled their own new Layer 1 blockchain called Arc.
Their own blockchain.
Yeah.
Why, there are tons of blockchains already.
Well, this one's designed specifically for stablecoin finance. It's EVM compatible, so it works with the Ethereum ecosystem.
Okay.
But here's the unique part. It uses USDC itself as the native token for paying transaction fees, or gas.
Oh, so you don't need Ether or some other token just to move your USDC around on their chain.
Yeah.
You just pay the fee in USDC.
Exactly. It removes a huge point of friction, especially for businesses or even regular users who just want to use the stablecoin. Makes things much simpler.
Yeah, that actually sounds really useful. What else does Arc offer?
They're aiming for high performance, sub-second settlement times, an integrated foreign exchange engine for stablecoins, and even opt-in privacy features. It's really built for financial applications.
So this really connects the dots on Circle's strategy, doesn't it? They're not just the USDC issuer anymore. They want to be the whole platform.
That seems to be the goal. Leverage that massive USDC supply and the trust they've built to create a full-stack financial ecosystem.
And the timing is interesting, too, with regulations becoming clearer.
Absolutely. President Trump signing the Genius Act recently, that created a federal framework for stablecoins here in the U.S. That clarity is a huge boost for the industry, and especially for Circle as the biggest U.S. player.
No wonder the stock jumped. You said CRCL surged over 11% pre-market.
Yeah, despite that headline net loss, investors are clearly looking past the one-off IPO costs.
They're seeing the revenue growth, the USDC dominance, the strategic move with ARC, and the clearer regulatory path.
It all points towards stablecoins becoming even more integrated into finance, and Circle is positioning itself right at the center of that.
Makes perfect sense. Another piece of the puzzle in how digital money is changing things.
Definitely.
All right, that brings us near the end for today's Connecting the Dots. Quite a journey through tech, politics, and finance.
Yeah, we started with that really unusual Trump Nvidia AMD chip deal, selling to China again, but with that 15% fee changing the rules of the game.
Then we zoomed down to the desktop with Nvidia's new Blackwell GPUs, like the RTX PRO 4000 SFF and 2000, bringing serious energy-efficient AI power right to professional workstations.
Making on-premise AI and things like secure data processing much more accessible across industries.
And finally, Circle's big quarter.
Yeah.
Huge revenue and USDC growth, that IPO-related net loss explained, and the launch of their ARC blockchain using USDC for gas fees.
Which could really streamline stablecoin payments and build out their financial ecosystem.
These stories really show how interconnected everything is, right? Global policy impacts chip availability, which impacts the AI tools on your desk, which ties into the digital finance platforms we might use.
It all connects. And the key thing for you, listening, is seeing how these pieces fit together to shape what's coming next in tech and finance.
Yeah, and thinking ahead, you know, with AI getting more local and digital money getting smoother, how does that empower maybe smaller players, individuals, to innovate in new ways? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.